What's up, Flip Nation? So this is my very first video where we're checking back in on a business that I previously advised to see if they're actually doing the things that I told them to do. So about a year ago, I met this guy named Dave who was running his own Turo fleet. At the time, he had a few cars, he was hustling, he was doing pretty good. And we developed a little bit of a friendship. He actually rented my Tesla from me when I listed on Turo. Well, after that, a few months later, he wanted to get some advice on what he should do for his business. So I had him come back to the office and I gave him a lot of different tips and things that I would do if I were to start a Turo business. And today, we are here at his office now to check in on him and see how he's doing. So let's go see. What's up, bro?
What's up?
Good to see you, man.
Yeah, good to see you again. How are you?
So I'm good, man. You got a little CoWork Space going on.
I do. I don't like to call it little. I like to call it big CoWork.
There we go. There we go.
No, but this is great though. I was able to come here. I have a dedicated workspace here, and I have parking for all my cars.
Yeah, that was the one thing we talked about when I was giving you the advice was I think you should get like an office space or something that's pretty close to the airport. And man, dude, what are you, like 5 minutes from the airport now?
Yeah, if that, it's really close, maybe a mile or two away.
Yeah, well, I love that you did a CoWork Space. A lot of people don't know this, but when I first started flipping houses, this was back in 2015, I ended up getting a CoWork Space and I was paying like $300 a month. I had my own private office and I was able to get mail and have an official business address and everything was legit.
I wish you would have told me that, man. It took me a long time to find this space. I was working with realtors and everything, and then
I should have probably told you that during the meeting. But you know what? Sometimes as an entrepreneur, you got to figure things out. That's part of the game.
Yeah.
But no, this place is great. So you got your little workspace over there, right?
Yep. So I got my workspace over here, and then we have common areas that we get to share. So I have my dedicated desk, laptop, computer, everything.
Yeah.
And we have a boardroom, we have a content studio, so just a bunch of different places.
Yeah, let's check that stuff out before we talk about the Turo business and the fleet, because I think a lot of people watching this right now, if you're an entrepreneur, and you're like, man, I can't afford office space. I can't afford all these amenities.
Right.
I think a CoWork Space is huge. I mean, dude, for a few $100 a month, you get access to all this stuff. Let's go see what you got.
Yeah, definitely recommend it.
Yeah.
Yep, and this is our content studio right here. So if you want to do a podcast, we have people that come in here and just do photo shoots, video shoots. We just come right in here and do it.
Yeah, this is tight. We just set up one of these, I call them an infinity wall. I don't even know what they're called, but this is really good for content. You got a nice little chair and a light over there. You've got the studio vibes, like.
Not bad, right?
I've spent way more to build my studio. You got it for a couple $100 a month.
Right, yeah. So I pay about $550 a month total with my space and then the parking spots that I have for the cars. So
yeah.
Great deal. Like, I'm definitely winning in this situation.
Yeah. So tell me about how many cars you have now.
So now I have 15 cars that are on the fleet, and I have 2 other personal cars, so I have 17 total.
Wow.
And I have 3 pending deals that are coming in, so 3 more cars that are on the way.
So you're gonna have 20 in the fleet, essentially.
Yeah, I hadn't even thought about that, but yeah, there'd be 20 at that point.
How many did you have when we first met?
I think I only had 4 or 5 cars.
Yeah, that's what I remember. I was thinking about it, and I was like, man, I wanna say he was just getting started. He had a few, and you scaled it 5X, 4X.
Definitely. And the main catalyst of that was when I left my job. Remember, I had a job.
Yeah, I remember.
Part-time.
I told you to quit that.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm the guy who always tells you to quit school, quit your job, whatever.
All the worst advice, right?
Yeah, but it worked out.
It worked out great. Yeah, as soon as I did that, like, my back was against the wall.
Yeah.
And I had to really push and scale, so I've scaled really aggressive over the past couple months.
Yeah, so tell me about like what you're doing to scale. How have you been able to do it?
So when we previously spoke, I think the last video, we talked about how I was gonna get funding for the car. So what I did was I actually got registered with the county as a car rental agency.
Okay.
So when I did that, I started building my business credit, and I was approved for a rental car floor plan, which they approved me for $150K in funding.
Okay.
To get more cars. So
cool.
Now I do have that funding available to me, but then I also started taking OPC. When I say OPC, I mean other people's cars. We always hear OPM, right?
Yeah, I was like, OPC, other people's cars.
Other people's
I like
cars,
it.
Right?
Okay.
So instead of them investing cash with me, they can just send a car to me that they already have. Maybe they need a little help, with the payment or whatever. They can send it to me. I'll manage it inside my fleet.
Wow. So how many other cars do you have that people own?
Right now I have 4. So 4 of my fleet are owned by other people and managed.
And how does the deal work with them on that? Like, how does the split work? Who does what?
So I actually give them a profit split. So right now I offer 60-40 split.
Okay.
As I'm getting started, so I actually do it in their favor. So they get 60%,
Yep.
I take 40. So that incentivizes me. The more I make them, the more I make.
Yep.
So it's a win-win.
But they're still responsible for like their insurance and car payment, all that stuff?
Correct.
It's just the Turo revenue that you're splitting?
Exactly. Yeah, so all their expenses are still on them, and it comes out of their portion of the revenue split.
Right, right. No, that's super cool. I mean, like, what are you seeing that these guys are making doing a split with you?
So I have kind of a range of those 4 cars. I have an Audi Q5, I have a Chevy Malibu, I'm trying to think of the other ones right now, Ford Fiesta, cars like, so they range, right?
Yeah,
yeah. But on average, they make about 900 to 1,000 a month. So they might make, 600 on
right.
the deal, 500 to 600 a month.
Yeah, you're talking $1,000 net cash flow.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah. No, I mean, that's great for them. I mean, they make money, they get to, get their car paid down or paid off, and like, is it just like a second car for them? Are they not using it? What's the deal?
So everyone that I'm working with now, it's a second car that they have that was just sitting around.
Yeah.
And they figured, why not turn that liability into an asset?
Yeah.
And make money with it.
Yeah. Well, I want to see some of the cars you got now, because I remember when we first talked, your dream car was to get a Corvette.
Right, yeah. And with my dream cars, I do it in tiers. So the C8 Corvette was one of my dream cars. I've always been in love with mid-engine sports cars.
Yeah.
But then I definitely have some above that. Definitely the Lamborghini Huracan.
Yeah.
Pagani is like at the top tier, piece of art.
Yeah, I just filmed with my boy Houston Crosta, and I'm curious to hear your thoughts too, because he doesn't necessarily like Turo, because his business is, exotic cars off of Turo, and so Turo kind of eats into his business. But yesterday, he had a Pagani, he had like a bunch of Lambos, he had a Koenigsegg, I think is what it's called, that's just unreal. I mean, the Pagani was like 3.5 mil.
Right, exactly. It's crazy. It's like rolling art. That's what I look at it like. So.
Yeah, that's how he described it too. Yeah, let me see what you got going on in the fleet.
Yep, let's go.
All right, so the parking lot's big, man. You can fit a lot of cars out here.
Yeah, definitely. Space was a big factor on why I chose this spot.
Yeah, no, it looks good. Now, I see a couple of cars going on here. I see the beautiful Corvette that I know you really wanted.
Exactly, and I wanted to have more cars for you guys, but seeing that it's Friday and we're in Las Vegas, they're all rented out right now, so I keep my cars going.
Yeah, that's the way you want it. Exactly. It's funny because everybody that I've ever filmed with for Turo says the same thing. They're like, man, I don't have that many cars. Like, they're out.
If you're doing it right, you should never have issues with parking. You should always have your cars.
The cars are just always in and out.
Exactly.
So tell me, how does it work with like washing the cars and stuff here?
So we have a mobile detailer that comes in and he'll detail the cars on site. I do some of the cars myself too, since I have the time back. So as I'm scaling and growing more, adding more revenue to the business, I'm gonna completely outsource that. Yeah,
dude, bro. Yeah. Like, that's my next piece of advice. You should not be washing cars, dude. I don't care how much time you have.
I know.
That is like the worst use of your time.
I know. I wouldn't even cut my own grass. So I'm like, my ROI isn't there.
I want you to throw away any towels, any hoses, any cleaners, throw them all away.
All right, man. All right, so I actually got a couple towels right here in the front. In the trunk, I think you call it.
Yeah, bro. You can't be doing this. You can't be doing this. Like, this is just...
All right.
You can't do that, all right? It's done. So let's talk about a couple of these cars just so the viewers can get an idea. A year ago, I rented a C8, and I almost bought one. I was like, dude, the C8 is sick. I love this. I ended up going with the Porsche Taycan, which I also love. But, like, what would you think this thing will rent for?
If I were to rent this, it would rent for about $300 a day. Roughly.
$300 a day.
Vegas, yeah.
Okay.
It's different in different parts of the country.
Yeah.
But I actually keep this as my personal car.
Yeah.
And I let my other cars pay for this car.
Yeah. So at $300 a day, how many days a month would this thing get rented?
About 10 to 15 days it will get rented for.
Okay.
So not as much as like an economy car that's going like 25 days.
Yeah.
But about 10 days is pretty conservative.
Okay, so let's say it made $3,000 a month.
Right.
That's $36,000 a year. How much did you pay for this?
$73K. I paid for this one.
So I mean, honestly, in about 2 years, that thing would have made enough revenue.
Right, to pay for itself.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm seeing with some of my finance cars now.
Yeah.
About 2 years, roughly, is the where I get all the
That's the
investment
goal.
back. That's the goal. With my cash cars, it's actually a year where
Yeah.
I'm gonna make that money back faster.
Right. So tell me about this Audi. This is one of the people you partnered with, right?
Correct, yeah, so this is OPC, other people's cars right here. Someone sent this car to me because she got a newer SUV.
Yep.
This was just sitting in the driveway, so she decided to send it out to me and make money with it.
Yeah, so, all right, so tell me about what this Audi rents for.
Yeah, so this Audi right now rents for about 60 to 75 a day. But
That seems low.
it is, but keep in mind, we're experiencing a slowdown in some of the luxury cars.
Okay.
This is also an older model, so.
What year is this?
It's 2012.
Okay, oh, okay, so this is 10 years old.
Yeah.
Dang, this looks good for 10 years old.
That's what I said. Let me add this to the fleet.
Yeah, if this is 10 years old and you could rent it for 75 bucks a day, like,
Definitely.
that's good.
It made perfect sense for the person I'm managing it for.
Yeah, just cash flow.
Yep.
Nice. So super cool to see everything that you're building. I'm curious how it's numbers wise.
Yeah. So right now, while I'm scaling, numbers are changing dramatically.
Right.
When we did our last video, I think I was at about 4 to 5K revenue per month.
Yep.
That scaled up to, this past month I did about 22K in July.
Wow.
Which is a lot. It's not a typical month. I would say probably taper off about 15.
Okay. So what do you see as like the net profit on those numbers?
It's about a 40% net profit right now.
Wow.
And that's because obviously I'm doing distributions for the other people's cars that I'm managing.
Yep.
And then I also have a few car payments on some of my fleet.
Yeah, so that's your take home.
Right, correct.
Wow. I mean, dude, to go make, say 20 grand, 40% is 8 grand a month net.
Right.
Running this business pretty remotely. Like, how hard is it for you to run this?
I focus a lot on automating.
Yep.
So I've been doing things with Turo, like automating my messages. Before Turo added that feature, I had third-party apps that I was using or software to actually automate my messages. So that took a lot of time out of it.
Yep.
Now I also do contactless check-ins where I don't have to be there to meet with every renter. They can just pick up the cars and go.
Right.
So an average day, I might spend 3 to 4 hours working on this.
That's a good gig.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so for those watching that really are thinking about getting into Turo and everything, like what are some misconceptions or some pitfalls that they might go into? Because there's a lot of people who say Turo's not legit.
Right. Yeah, so the main thing is a lot of people don't think Turo will pay you if you have a damage claim on your car. So I see that a lot on like the Facebook forums or the Turo pages. And usually the people that say that are hosts that didn't follow the terms of service, and then they fall into a bad situation where they get their claims denied. But for me, I don't get claims denied. I get paid every single time. That's like if someone has a fender bender, and
How often have you had to go through damage?
Not often. Not as often as you would think. Even though some of my most viral videos are the damage videos, right?
Yeah.
When my Challenger got totaled, that was a crazy viral video.
Yeah.
But that's what draws attention. People see that, and that's what people gravitate to.
Right.
But I would say it's every few months at the most.
Yeah.
I'll have anything with a damage claim.
Yeah. So why do you think that? I mean, I get that these people don't follow the rules, and so Turo doesn't pay out. What are some other things they should keep in mind?
So the main thing people should keep in mind is, because another thing is people believe Turo takes too much money, too much revenue from them.
Right.
And I look at it opposite, right? So, and that's because I look at all the benefits they're providing to me and to other Turo hosts that most people don't think of. So when you use a platform like Turo, they provide, protection plans, which is subbed out to their insurance company. They provide customer service, back-end support for your renters, so you don't have to message with them about how to use the app, things like that. Yeah, so I use a lot of those benefits to my advantage, right? So if someone, let's say, has a flat tire on the side of the road, most hosts will jump to the rescue and go out there, drive down the highway, find the renter, figure out a plan, right? That's what most people do.
It's crazy.
It's crazy, but I wouldn't do that because there's roadside assistance with Turo as well. So if they send me a message about it, I just send them hey, please contact roadside assistance through Turo. They handle the entire process for you.
Yeah.
So if I were to take my cars off the platform, now
you got to do everything.
I have to be the marketer, right? I have to bring my own customers and renters. I have to do my own customer service. I have to do my own roadside assistance.
Yeah.
Where I just don't want to.
Yeah, and I think, my buddy Houston, when we just filmed at his shop, he talks about how Turo hosts don't have to do all those things you mentioned, plus they don't have payroll taxes and huge expenses on an office space, like a big office space like he has, like you guys get a lot of advantages doing it through Turo.
Exactly. Yeah, I actually do have payroll taxes because I hired my wife.
There you go.
Yeah, to work on the business on the back end.
Yeah, nice, dude. So what would you say is like your plan going forward?
So my plan going forward is to continue to grow and expand on OPC. You know, I mentioned that before, other people's cars. I'm adding that to my fleet. Because to me, it's a way for me to really help other people and grow my revenue with no overhead for myself.
Right.
So it's a business model that just creates cash flow.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. You were talking to me too about doing some kind of education. You already got some ebooks out there for helping people do Turo.
Right, yeah, so you know, I was one of those guys that would always say, I won't get into the training or education side of it. But the thing is, the demand is so high, and once I did it on like an off scenario, I saw how much it actually helped someone.
Yeah.
And that's what changed my mind. So I went in and I wrote the ebook, and then I started doing some one-on-one consulting to help other people grow their fleet.
Yeah, no, I love it. I mean, I was the same way. I never wanted to like coach in real estate and do all that stuff, but you know, finally I did it, and it was the best thing I ever did, you know, and you're gonna always deal with haters and other things, but when you look at your students and the people that you've really helped, like, you know it's worth it.
Yeah, that's what changed my mind about it. Like, as soon as I help someone, I was like, okay, I see where this is going. Like, people reach out to me, DM me every day, like I'm sure they do with you.
Yep.
And then I just decided to do something about it.
Okay, so 1 year from now, you know, you got 20 right now. What's the goal 1 year from now?
Yeah. So 1 year from now, I plan to have at least double the fleet, at least 40 cars or more, and to have a warehouse space where I can actually park the cars inside when I need to, or at least some of the fleet once I start getting real high-end cars.
All right. Well, I want you, my goal for you is at least 50.
At least 50?
At least 50, dude.
Let's do it. Yeah.
Like, I think you can do it just doing the OPC like you're talking about. If you grow your social media and you know, advertise that you're doing this for people, and like, I think you could literally get 50 cars tomorrow. Yeah,
and that's really where it took off. I started doing more on social media, making content, and it's just, it exploded, especially my TikTok. And then people started reaching out to me from there, and that's when I was like, all right, I'll take your cars. At first I was telling people no, and I can't believe I was doing that because I was so tied to my job. I was like, I just don't have time. I was telling people no, and now I've started taking those, and my revenue is going up.
Yeah. I think with just that alone, you can go get 30 cars literally in a month. I really do.
Right. Yeah. See, and I say, you know, 50, we say 50, it might go to 100. Like,
that's what I'm saying. I think you could do 100, but you know, I'm telling you, you said 40, I'm like, at least 50.
Right.
All right, dude, you got any final thoughts for Turo?
Yeah, definitely. So I want to give some free game for anybody out there that's thinking about getting into Turo, or you already have cars and want to grow. It's basically with the insurance, right? Everyone asks me, what insurance should I get or should I start with? And that's going to be different for different scenarios, but my first advice is to get one with a low deductible or no deductible when you start. And then as you start to grow, I know a lot of people complain about Turo taking a lot of your fees, right? If you're on the 75 plan, they get 25%. As you start to grow, you can minimize risk or take on more risk and up your levels to an 80% or 90% revenue take. Now your deductible is going to be higher, but if you're operating a business, you should already have that deductible saved as an emergency fund. So that's a way where you can really increase your revenue and Turo doesn't take as much from you.
I love it, dude. Well, guys, if you want to see me do a follow-up with Dave about a year from now to see if he can get that 50 to 100 car level, definitely comment below. Show Dave some love. He's doing amazing things, man. Hey, I'm super proud of you, bro.
I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, bro. So, Flip Nation, make sure you subscribe to catch that update, and we'll see you on the next one.